Hello! So today it is time for another episode of Let's Talk Bellydance. Very, very happy that we are going to be gathering together today. Hi! Thanks for joining. And there's going to be a lot covered today. One of the big things, right, that I think permeates through everything and just really just hits it on the head is feeling insecure. So Shaira is going to be joining us here any moment so we can get started on time. As always, if you have any questions, we will answer them at the end. Any commentary, feel free as we're going along. I'll make sure to read it at the end for sure. And I really hope that you enjoy today's episode. It's going to be a goodie. And I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone has to say. Hola!
Hola Jennifer, how you doing?
I'm good. Oh, so glamorous. I'm so happy that we're going to have this conversation because I think it's brilliant. It just touches on everything and we're going to dive into quite a few things. I'm looking forward to learning more about your stories and everything personally. I followed you on podcasts and things like interviews you were on recently, and I thought they were so freaking insightful. So I'm really glad we could connect.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Thank you for the invitation. I think that this time that you offer for different dancers and different artists is wonderful. It's a great opportunity to connect and also to share things that maybe sometimes we don't expect that can happen to us, and at the same time can inspire.
Yes, thank you. That's super the mission of this. And I'm going to go ahead and just introduce you to our listeners. So some people will be joining live, some will be listening after. You may have heard of Shaira Amon, but we're going to give you a little bit more information so you can know a little bit more about the dancer and kind of her repertoire. So Shaira is a professional dancer. She's an event producer and an instructor. She is also a model and the first Latina beauty queen in the United Arab Emirates, which is a pretty fun fact. She's traveled to more than 40 countries, yes, with her art. And she studied teaching and law, which I'm very excited to see how this kind of like permeates throughout. She loves teaching. She loves connecting with people in every show, every class. And she's always working on new projects and growing. So yay. I think we're all kind of like always trying to do things and learn. And she's recently a mother and always looking to inspire others to grow. So welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you
Yee.
so much. I always feel a little shy when they tell about my resume, but I appreciate. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of like that background and all that mania. So first, to lay down the groundwork for our listeners, insecurities is the topic today. What does insecurities mean to you? So we understand the perspective in which we'll be sharing so much about this.
Well, it was pretty interesting when we bring this topic to the conversation. I think we both connect pretty good with that.
Mhm.
And it's like a big word. For me, insecurity is a word that means that we are building constantly, but sometimes when we start something new that we don't know how to do, we forget it's a process. And we start
Mhm.
to feel this doubt, these insecurities. We face these things daily. I mean, I can give you an examples. Every time you had a new students that they are learning different steps, sometimes they feel insecure about themselves, or they,
Mhm.
oh, can I do that? Or in my age, can I learn this? How these steps look? And probably you will feel related that for me, it happens to me sometimes to find my students looking on the floor or feeling shy
Mhm.
about it.
Uh-huh.
So it's a big thing. Every time we start something new, and also insecurity can feel at the same time has a kind of negativity, let's say, like when we have a low self-esteem or lack of self-esteem.
Mm.
Uh, but again, sometimes we do this mistake to compare ourselves with people who already passed through the process and
Comparison. Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we compare and we forgot there is a lot of behind, like sacrifice, discipline, hard work. It's a process, not a success. You know what I mean? It's not immediately, it's not instant.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay, so doubting, when you're doubting, when you're maybe it's like your worth, you feel like your worth sometimes comes into question, etc. That is insecurity.
it's,
Okay.
it's insecurity, but also at the same time, sometimes, and this is one of the things that it connects to everybody because
Hmm.
we love dance, but I'm pretty sure, Jennifer, is one day I ask you, how do you inspire to learn dance? You're gonna give me a name of a dance,
Mm.
or you're gonna give me a name of something that you see and it give you such impact in your life that you say, oh, I wanna do that.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes it happens that many dancers are coming and say, "Oh, I would love to dream like that," and they start to learn the steps, and they realize like, "Oh, this is not as easy that she did it,
Yeah.
like I saw it." So that's
Uh-huh.
kind of tricky, and that's when sometimes they feel insecure. But again, it's a process. It's not instant, and everything that I mean, you organize an event, I organize. Sometimes when we do the first step to organize stuff that we never did before, or when we travel, or we're gonna do a certain activity that we are facing, that is a task, is a challenge, but it's how we deal with that.
Yeah, I think the how we deal with it part definitely. I think with this topic today, we'll definitely be talking more about like some of the negative, but then we'll go into like turning it to maybe a positive or
Exactly.
not getting
Yeah.
to the negative parts in such a, bad way. I know some of the things you gave in the examples there, those are perfect. Yeah, like doubting your skill when you're trying something new. I know there's a lot of like social media pressure online. I hear a lot of this, especially from the younger generation, but I feel like our generation and older are feeling it too, even though we didn't grow up with this stuff. It's very interesting, the conversations. It comes up in so many different ways. How we look on the show, the day of the show, or 2 minutes before the show, backstage, you're going, the costume, oh God, I don't feel good. Like it's
True.
so many places and spaces where this comes out.
It's
And
true.
then
It's true.
behind the scenes a lot too. So, let's dig in,
Let's dig
shall
more.
we? So you mentioned comparisons,
Mm.
and I think that's a very, personally, I've heard a lot of comparison work, especially with students and intermediate dancers that are trying to get to the next level. I feel like that's like a big bump usually in the road. Tell me about like comparisons with different career paths or maybe reaching certain goals that like you've either experienced or seen along your journey.
Well, it's pretty interesting because the more it happens to things when you start to study different areas, the more you learn, the more you know that you have to learn more.
Yes.
So that's the first topic. The second is pretty interesting. For example, when I start, I always knew, sometimes we had a passion in the same time that you can say that I love to dance, I love to teach. So sometimes I found myself as a kid dreaming to be a teacher.
Ah,
So
okay.
I always feel that my work somehow is going to be connected to other people, uh, to somehow. And even when I was in elementary, when I was in high school, I love to uh, finish my homework. And when I see a classmate that has issues, I like to help. So
Mm.
that's this thing. So basically, what I noticed, and probably that's something that maybe we're gonna be agree on that. When we learn belly dance, we feel that the time of the class is the same for everybody, but the time of the learning is different.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So for me, when I studied how to be a dancer, and at the same time I was studying how to be a teacher, and it makes
Ah.
my head boom. Because you study things about diversity, you study things like how to prepare a class, how to
Mm-hmm.
reach to each student, how to produce the insight, and
Mm-hmm.
many things that make you like complement. Like it's not a competition in these two topics, it merge somehow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And even in the future, when begin to study law, also emerge somehow. Because if you think about it, let's say that someone wanna hire you from another country, you're able to do a contract,
Mm-hmm.
for example. So you can always find a way how to connect. Now, the interesting thing is like how you deal, because speaking about insecurities also brings, I mean, we are humans, we are learning and knowledge, but sometimes insecurity can open different emotions, like it can be sometimes competition between.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the work of the head of the dance studio, or it's the work of the leader who is trying to approach to let the people understand that they are beautiful in their own way. But the problem is sometimes it can be this situation where you want each person love themselves, you want each person reach to the process when you learn, but at the same time you don't want they compete, because sometimes it can be that. So once the head or the instructor can explain, no, you're special, you don't need to compete, you need to work this in a very healthy way, that helps a lot.
Mm. And so when you say compete, it's when it's like a negative connotation. Because competing could be wonderful for positive growth, et cetera, an accelerator.
With
So you mean like
yourself,
with the, yeah, with the negative side when people are insecure and trying to compete to try to get something that really it's within them to find.
yeah, especially when you're working with teenagers, sometimes they try to compete. I'm not saying they do consciously, but sometimes, they compare themselves with the person next to. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can see that in the adults. So you try
Mm-hmm.
to let them remember that they are special, they are unique, but sometimes can happen, unfortunately. The competition, like you say, is very healthy, because you can compete against yourself every day to improve.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in a dance competition, which can
Mm-hmm.
be super nice. And if you go with the idea and the mentality that not for the trophy, not for the medal, that you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be learning and you're gonna have this feedback from the instructor to grow, that's
Yeah.
great. But sometimes people goes trying to get the prize. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the negative part.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, what's the root purpose for everything? But I think, which I think is so applicable when we're talking about insecurities. Like you even mentioned, uh, when people are like, oh, before the competition, more about this, even with dance styles, people can compare. So
Yeah.
it's not even the student or dancer next to them. They can be like, oh, I want to do this style, I can't do this style. And they start to get really negative and like, I'm not good enough, I'm never going to be good enough. Am I going to do? You hear this a lot, a lot, a lot. Even with dancers that are doing this 20, 30, 40, 50 years sometimes, because I think some people are really naturally better at being good with the uncomfortable than others, right? There's always a different tolerance, I think, for change with people. And so, like, change can be a trigger for insecurity a lot of times, or the unknown, like you mentioned, a trigger for insecurity in some, right? Others might be like, yeah, let's do it. This is like an amazing growth challenge, like so it's when it's the negative kind, that's where the comparison mania can get a little carried away. Have you ever experienced something like that where someone was just so deep in comparisons, or even in your own journey, there was just such a hardcore comparison issue going on, or not so much?
Oh yeah, definitely it happens. It happens. Personally, in my experience, the more you travel, the more you realize that, oh my goodness, everybody's too similar in a good sense.
What
We
do
are,
you mean?
I mean, like maybe you travel to different countries that
Uh-huh.
you don't speak the language, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody smile in the same way. Everybody enjoys
Mm.
the Saidi in the same way. Everybody's dancing Halishi or different styles. And you realize like we are such a wonderful world and we are all connected. That
Mm.
you reach a point you say, sometimes insecurity makes no sense because you can see all these. Let's say you see a group dancing that way, a family. You see the grandmother, the grandkid next to the wife, the husband, the
The
other
baby.
wife, the third wife, and everybody's enjoying it.
Hmm.
So that's one of the things. But yes, it happens to me to see sometimes situations where people in front of the challenge they just stop by fear or they get paralyzed, let's say, or
Mm.
sometimes they go and they say, I will go through, I can do it. um, is something that is in us. We always, before start something new, we have those doubts. Unfortunately,
Mm.
it's like the society is always telling you no, 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 no. But being connecting with the right people, the people who loves you, cherish for you, and try to make you improve every day. That's super important. It's very easy
Very
to.
helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. For me, I love to see different shows, different dancers. When someone organizes something, I say, "Yeah, that's wonderful," because everybody passed through the same situation. It's
Hmm.
not easy. It's challenge. Sometimes you had cancellations, sometimes you had issues, but somehow you work with that. So
Hmm.
it's pretty interesting because you can be sitting in a table with different dancers, and we can probably have very similar stories around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever been sitting around dancers where their insecurities became like envious or jealous or critical? Oh, tell me, tell me.
I had been. The first approach maybe is because, I mean, when you come for a very good family, sometimes when you face the outside, it's sometimes shocking. It's like you're like, ooh, this is not happening at home. You know what I mean? So it happens to me, for example, first time I went to a dance competition, I was one of the people who's gonna participate. And honestly, I never believe I wanna win something. I just do it because I love it. I wanna dance. I never been in a competition. I was really, really young. And everybody there was so nice in the beginning until
Oh.
until I won. And it's unbelievable how the faces switch with that. That's why I was telling you it's very easy how you can recognize someone who really cares about you. Because if you are successful, they're going to be cheering for you. If
Yes.
you are not, they will be supporting you.
No, wait.
Exactly, exactly. And it's very easy. It happens to me, like, if, for example, I get that award and I never expect to have it. Because honestly, I saw one dancer and inside me say, oh my goodness, she does amazing. And I didn't understand how I get the award. You know what I mean? That's something that, because I really like her style. But again, sometimes the judge or the people, they are judging according about their own specific idea. So it's
Mhm.
like we can feel that that dancer is gonna be number one, and in the end, maybe that surprised you. But always when I was in competitions, I was with my family. They support me. And
Oh.
it's kind of interesting because I remember one time they tried to break my dress with a scissor.
Wait, what happened?
They tried to break my dress with a scissor,
Like, like,
like
like,
break
cut
it.
your costume?
Oh yeah, they cut my costume, they cut my hair. I had to tell you, I
They
know
cut your hair?
the hair.
Oh, this is
Uh,
bad.
it's just like I was when I was young. I was really well. I'm still young, but when I was kid, I loved to participate in different competition. I'm talking about Argentina. Okay, let's situate in a country.
Mm.
So basically, what happened is like I was, that they call you by name and they call you by number
Yes.
when you're gonna go to the competition.
Yeah. Number
So my
five, number
mother was
21.
behind, waiting for me to go on stage, and she
Okay.
saw two participants coming with a scissor from the back, tried to go to my clothes. Okay, and my name is Andrea. So what happened when your mother or someone call you with your name? You do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to the stage and they called me and I did that. So these two ran inside a camerin. So they were doing this, and my mom literally understood the whole situation, and she said me that they cut my dress. So that's one of the big lessons, because sometimes you ask your parents why.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Why would move them to do such a thing?
Especially because you didn't do anything wrong. You are there like them,
Mm-hmm.
trying to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was one. And years later, I remember I was you have like papers like describe, let's say, this, it's not the word schedule, the lineup. Here you go. You have
Ah,
the lineup of the competition, and I feel people, they start to talk behind me, but they were start to talking like to try to provoke me.
to promote you.
Yeah, like say, who is that Shaira? Or who is that da da da? You know, like when they start
Ah,
to, and I ignore them because again, it's a competition. You go to have fun. You're not gonna go to have any issue. And I didn't realize, later they become really quiet. I didn't realize they were doing something. So the next appointment I had in my hairdresser, he was checking, say, what happened here? You had missing hair, like someone
oh
cut.
my gosh.
I know, and for me, I will think it was an accident until I get an email that they send me, we have your hair, we're gonna do some magic with that.
What?
I know.
What the heck?
That
This
was
is
like,
getting even better. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That is
thank you.
horrifying.
No, no, for me right now, I can tell you and I can be laughing about it, but
Yeah, yeah.
for the kids, you're like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
That is wild.
But I'm talking 14, 15 years old, you know, like, but again, if your parents teach you good, you don't do those things. And also you
Mm-hmm.
have your own choice to don't
Yes.
do bad. So, but it happens to me that you know, it teaches you that sometimes not everything is a sparkle. It can
Oh
happen.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. I wish there was like whenever I hear about things like this, I go, wow, what were they going through? They must have been really hurting, really scared, or really sad, or who knows. Like a lot of times for people to act out like that, I go, so what were they thinking? Like where did that come from? It's never anything good, in my opinion, my experiences. It's usually something like they're suffering type of deal.
Yes,
Oh,
you're right.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Wow.
it's okay. It's like you're right. Like I think it's the same feeling that sometimes kids has the pressure to have a good qualification in the school,
Mhm.
and maybe if it's that pressure somehow external, I guess that can go to a person that tried to say, okay, I had to knock the person next to me to get this. Sometimes
Mhm.
people has that vision, unfortunately. My family teach me work hard. Some family teach them break their legs and get
Yeah.
the position. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, that makes sense. That's very true. I think with our dance community, the former is would be more ideal for sure. You could be hardcore competitive with yourself in a really non-destructive way. Like fondly believe in that. Um, and then if you're not, it really permeates in some really crazy ways. I've seen this myself many times with others. Tell me a little bit about, like, have you ever experienced this with another teacher? Like maybe they were super insecure, or with a student that was really insecure and it like affected you or the group, or because in the classroom, you do naturally see this, but there's also those out of hand kind of moments that can happen. Has that ever happened to you or no?
it did happen. And actually, I have to involve the court on that. Yeah. So, of course, I'm talking about the negative things. There are many
Of
one
course.
situation, but this one, it was kind of scary because, again, now I can tell my story and being
Mhm.
relaxed. But in that moment, when you are the Shaira years ago and you're going through that situation, you are scared. You're asking why, if the only thing I do is just work hard in what I love. You're thinking why I don't deserve this. You know what I mean? So basically, what happened is like I had my own dance studio, which for me, when I had my own dance studio, my students, and this is very interesting to say, they will never be a number. They always be a person. So for us, it was a family.
Mm.
So
Okay.
there is this relationship of teaching, but we had this also as a community.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what happened is I start to receive like death threats
Death threats from a student or from a teacher or
from someone from the, let's say, another instructor from another
okay.
dance studio. Okay, and it wasn't only me, it was also because it was very strange how that person get the information of some of my students. I understand the dance community is small sometimes. I mean, it's huge, but sometimes if you're in the same area or you are always traveling in certain areas, somehow you know each other even if you don't know personally, if you don't are in a relationship, let's say it. So what happened is like we had a person that again that person comes from a family that you have to break the leg to reach a position.
Okay.
And that person in general, it was kind of toxic. And I mean in the sense like uh, everything should be for them. Make sense? If they are
Like
organizing something,
monopoly for them or like they're the center of the universe and okay,
yeah,
center of the universe type of
the
archetype.
type of
Okay.
things like if it's gonna be a competition, I will organize the only event. If it's gonna be a big show, I will be the one to. So basically, what happened is like, and with the time, I discovered that these people threat not only me, different instructors.
Wow.
But in that time, because when you get the threat, you're not gonna post on social media. You're not gonna say, "Oh, I'm proud, I get it." No,
No.
basically, what you do is what it will be normal if you receive through email, through phone calls. If your students are getting threats, letters, and papers, if in the
Wow.
middle of the night they are coming to your dance studio and they hit the door in hours that and later you receive an email saying open the door or stuff like this. That's not normal.
Whoa.
Okay, so we are talking about people that they were doing this. Of course, I went to the court. They,
Good.
how you call when they can listen your phone calls and have the
Oh
information.
yeah. Yeah, when they looked at your phone records, you're looking at your email records, maybe the IP, trying to trace them.
Exactly, they did the
Okay.
whole thing, but in the same time, they were trying to connect the staff, and in the same time they were thinking, okay, you are not. So every time I go to the court, they say, okay, you're not bleeding. You then because sometimes happens that if the person is not bleeding, is if he's not having, they
It's not a
sometimes
big deal.
take serious,
Uh-huh.
even if you show it. So I have to go out with security and everything. Time passed. Short story. Time passed. Um, and we realized who was the person because that person and that group of people were doing exactly the same with different instructors. And we were the conclusion, okay, these people, we knew they were kind of toxic, but we didn't expect to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, death threats and hitting the door. That'd be so scary, I think, for the students and you, like, oh my God, you have to take care of everyone, and this is happening.
This is
And
happening. Uh,
wow.
Again, they were sending no sense messages like send your students to our studio. So even they name the place where they want to send the students. So it wasn't smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is like when you bring this to the justice, you need to connect this point with this.
Mm.
So later with the different instructors, we realized who was the person. We had the option to merge the different stories and create a whole one complaint.
Yeah,
But to that point, we didn't consider it was necessary. I mean, because the person didn't reach to the point to hurt anybody. It just was
my
more,
goodness.
but still, every time I had the show, I had to pay 2 bodyguards to come with me. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if it's
Wow.
serious or not.
Was there something that like happened that maybe caused them to just go out the deep end? Do you know? Or maybe they had, I don't
No,
know.
no, because with the people that technically did this, again, if I met them, I'm the kind of person that if I like something, I will say, oh, I love your dress. Oh, I love how you dance it. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
the only relation I have is like, oh, I love what you did, da 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 da. But one time my parents catch a way of these people looking at my students and me. Um, it's pretty interesting how a mother, how a father can read the intention.
Mm. They
Um,
have like a fifth sense, I swear, parents. They really do.
So she told me, I don't want you never be close to these people again because the way they looking at you, I didn't like.
Mm.
I didn't like. And I think it's the thing that if you're a mother or a father, you can feel the threat to your, let's say, your daughter, to your, you can read it. But
Mm.
it was kind of, in that time, it was scary. I think it was really no sense because honestly, thinking deep, we like the same things. Sometimes we have this coincidence that we like similar props, we like similar things from the belly dance, from the dance community. So I was thinking, man, we couldn't be a great team all together with the instructor if
Hmm.
that group it doesn't decide to go that path. I mean, they
Hmm.
basically, I feel sorry about them because they are not able to enjoy what they are going through. They're gonna be always trying to be better than other person instead to enjoy
Hmm.
what they are doing. They're gonna be always trying to destroy someone instead to rise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's one of there's different scales or levels of insecurity, right? And I think kind of with what you're saying, it really reminds me so much of that. You have your like these last two stories, my gosh, they're very strong.
Well, no,
They're like the
I was thinking
extreme.
of many, like
I think you need a book,
probably
a
like how to
memoir.
survive belly dance, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, to me that's probably like one of the extreme levels, when it's gotten to such a degree where it's not self-destructive, right? I think that's like level one is you'll have, like a soft insecurity. Oh, I'm not the best at this. Hee hee hee. And you're like, okay. And then the second, like the next layer, it gets a little deeper to the point where it's actually you're being destructive to yourself. And maybe it permeates out because of that and it like affects the vibe, the mood around others. And then at that highest level is you're just like fire. You're just trying to destroy everything in your path to such a level, where it's super scary to hear
It
about
is.
these. Like I laugh because I'm kind of like, oh my God. But like deep down, I'm like, wow, I would pee my pants. Like I would probably freak out, and I'm like way older than you were at that time. I would freak the flip out and be like, what do I do? You know?
It's just in that time it's scary, but again, the thing is like again, our belly dance community is small, so sometimes you have dancers in Buenos Aires, friends. I say, oh my goodness, you know what happened with this group? They did this and this. So they continue doing these toxic things with different artists just
Hmm.
because they cannot handle the personal shine. That's was one of the reasons of when, I don't know, the idea when we create events or when we do stuff, we're doing this because we want other people to show themselves. They had the
Hmm.
opportunity and they had the experience of different stuff, like you, for example.
Hmm.
So this is like the opposite, totally negative thing. You know,
Yeah. This is this extreme side. How about on the tiny, like it's still not fun. I think, or like you said, it's very normal as a human being.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have moments where we're insecure, right? And some of the like very small, like more subtle ways that perhaps it shows itself, you know. I think of personally like when I'm backstage, there's gonna be, you know, we're getting ready, let's say, and there's always like the very quiet ones, like, my hair doesn't look good, I don't feel good, and you're like, okay, we all have those days, right? It's something simple like that. Or it can be like, you know, the way I look. Maybe it's my costume and my weight, my color, but it's always something,
It's
right?
true. I think we, thanks God, our pieces, or we are ensemble in one piece, because I think if it was for us, we're gonna be replacing all the time pieces because we are not happy with this, with this, with this. Instead of self and remember that how beautiful is to be a unique masterpiece.
Mm.
That's the thing is missing. I understand they are great dancers. I understand this dream to be, oh, I want to look like this. We have this kind of, let's say, examples, but at the same
Mhm.
time, belly dance is about community, it's about to dance together. When I had been in Arabic countries, the fun part was, yes, I have the show, I travel, but also we go with the singers, we go with other dancers, we have dinner at home, and each one of us is talking, dancing, having fun. You know,
Mhm.
that's how, if you're thinking in Jalisco, if you're thinking in dance, like folkloric dance, what the spirit of the union there. So
Mhm. Very communal.
exactly, exactly. That's one of the things. Like my experience, I can say sometimes I like to be friends with everybody. Honestly, I like. So
You like
sometimes
to
it happens
what?
to me to, yeah, I like to be friends with everybody.
Free?
Friend, friend.
Friends. Okay.
So sometimes happens to me to reach a place and to say hi to everybody like I usually do. And sometimes you have dancers, they are facing each other like don't talk to me to between them, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But they say both hi to me, you know. Sometimes there are those things. Now, to give you one, for example, details about insecurity, like that was pretty. I will go under the skin. Let's say it.
Okay.
Let's say that both of us we are best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
It happens to me in both sides. It happens to me like they choose me, and also they choose the other person instead of me. Okay, so you know the rules of the work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need one belly dancer for one restaurant or one specific
Mm-hmm.
country. I don't know, Abu Dhabi, let's say. And you want that contract. Both of us we want it. Sometimes it happens to me that I'm the one chose,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel happy, but at the same time terrible because my friend also wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they choose my friend instead of me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's again the insecurity. Should I be sad and crying? No, it's the rules.
Mm-hmm.
All in the places are gonna choose one or other. It can be for this month, it can be for the next month, it's okay. But you have to have a certain level of maturity inside the friendship relationship, and understand
Mm-hmm.
that if they choose someone else, doesn't mean that that person is better than you. It's just what they are looking for in that time.
Yeah. Yeah. The entertainment industry is what it is. You have to have a thick skin, in my opinion, and you have to be very good at being uncomfortable situations all the time. Like it's not personal, it's business, right? There's business, and then of course you want to be a good human. But the business side, it's up to the client and what they're looking for. Like you're saying, it's just what it is. But whenever you probably get something, you guys were like best friends, she'd be probably happy. She'd be like, damn, I really wanted that, but good for you, girl, you know, like vice versa. That's always the ideal, you
That's
know?
it. Sometimes, I mean, it happens to me that I had people that they cheer for me and I cheer for them, but sometimes it happens that maybe some people has to handle their emotion. They don't talk to you for a time, and later they talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
about sometimes it's about how you process the things. It takes
Yeah.
process like it's not someone else is better than you. It's just it's what they need.
Mm. Yeah, that's like you're saying that internal aspect because I think at the end of the day, with insecurity, no matter what level it shows at, it's coming from you deep down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I here I experience it, you kind of go, okay, where's this coming from? Is this like my mood? Do I just need to eat? Or, something silly? Is it my hormones? Let me
Exactly.
reset.
Yeah, no, what's up?
Or am I being jealous? Or is it like coming from lack of knowledge? And if so, then just cut it out and go do the thing or figure out the thing and do the work. I mean, I think we have such a here where it's such a place where everything needs to be fast and it looks like everything just happens, but that's never the reality, which is why I'm always telling my people in my circle, no, like the real world is the real world. It is not online. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. And so the work is done outside, not in the stage. It's everything before it. And it's one of those things where I think people forget that, especially the newer generations. I really feel like they don't,
They want like this.
yeah, they just want like this no matter what it takes, even if it's not even the dance. It's just like, how can I show my body and get a bunch of views? Or how do I maybe wear something shocking or do something shocking to get more views? And it's like, whoa, why is it that? Where is this coming from? What is this really boiling down to? That
True.
I do feel like it's a sign of insecurity a lot of times and just maybe fear. I don't know. So many different scenarios.
But sometimes it's good that I know can I mention two names that teach me a lot?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like mentor. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of my mentors is Amir Taleb.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so basically, one of the person that I need, Virginia as well, but he's one of the person I need to say thank you because
Hmm.
I remember be very young in his classes, and he showed us a picture of Yusef Constantine
Hmm.
that he's actually in Mexico. He showed us the picture and say, "Look at him. Do you think it's easy to reach that point?" It was a picture of him dancing a Saidi in a very specific stage for a specific show. I don't remember where, but that tiny detail for our generations and different generations shows you like you want to go there, you need the process. It's not like they teach you like that. So that's one of the things that I love when a good instructor make you see that, because sometimes you think it's like the phone that you get information quickly, or like you mentioned the social media. We need to remember that if a person reached a certain point, it was because maybe that person say no to many other fun time. Maybe let's say they invite you many birthday and you couldn't attend because of rehearsals, or
Sacrifice.
exactly, sacrifice, discipline. So there are many things behind. So that's why when I see a person, I clap about it, because I know behind it was a lot of insecurities, a lot of doubt, a lot of fears. We are going to the stage every time. Do you know how many people it gets stuck without be able to dance? We overcome it, or bigger fear that it was to show in front of the audience. That's already a big victory there.
Mm-hmm. I see, like Tony Tahan, I just saw you, Tony. Hey, Tony. Uh, so something that I wish, and this is going to be totally in my own brain, but I grew up in music.
Oh,
And then I did as an adult art.
wow.
And all of that from the age of like 6 till 22, you had weekly critiques of your work in art
Oh, wow.
in front of everyone. Before that, from 6 to 18 or 19, whatever it is, it was music. And in music, you have to have a thick skin because there's no weekly. It's every time you play, it's every day. So you are seated in an orchestra according to your level. And you're very comfortable with that. It could be your bestie at the end of the thing or next year. I mean, you all know each other for years and you're playing together every single day, every single weekend. So becoming very comfortable with being given a critique, a professional critique in front of everyone is something that I feel is often lacking because here, USA, I can't speak for everywhere over there, around the world, but here it's packaged in such a commercial way most of the time, where it's like, here's technique, away from the parties and the culture for a while. Here's technique, here's some music, and maybe a little zill or maybe prop, something like that, like a show. It's
Yeah.
very performance based, but then there's no like critique constantly for years. Because
Oh,
then it doesn't bother you to be critiqued in front of everyone or put out an uncomfortable spot because you've been uncomfortable every single day for years. So it's like when I think of insecurity in this topic, I also go, well, maybe what's another root of it? Is it just that our industry has, I don't know what word to use, softened here in the US versus like you come from Argentina? It's like a factory over there.
it
It's a freaking factory of
is.
discipline over there. It's highly competitive. Here, it's like everybody's great, everyone's a goddess, like all this marketing I see forever. And I always wonder, is this preparing people for the entertainment business, even if it's not entertainment, where you will be out there all the time. And that's okay. Like I love it. But you have to be very uncomfortable and sound, I think, of mind to do that every time you're putting yourself out there. It's just what it is, whether you like it or not, whether it's online or at a show or in class, even though in class, you're still in a group, it's a community, and you are sometimes going to get picked in front of the class or maybe not, or and how do you handle those things? But you've never had anyone teach you or make you feel uncomfortable so many times to learn how to cope with it. That's a whole tangent.
It's true. No, you're super correct on that. Because I noticed that people here is not ready sometimes to hear things that I hear was studying.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's not ready. Maybe the word is not common because sometimes your teacher, if they have to tell you, shout, say, put those arms straight, you know,
Mm.
and very, or look at yourself in the mirror, have this, ¿cómo se dice exigencia? Ah,
Oh, exigente, like you're pushing them. Like
yeah,
you want to see them push and get to that potential,
and that's the thing I'm so grateful because I had very good instructors. They always did that. And even when I traveled to Arabic countries, I had people that Lebanese people, they don't have filter.
No, I love it.
And I love
It
exactly.
hurts, but it's
They
amazing.
look at you and say, please look at yourself to the mirror and fix that. They will because they love you.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get used to that.
Yeah.
But again, there is always a nice way to say it, but also it doesn't bother me if they push me outside, like you say, from the comfort zone. We get used um, to don't become lazy and always try to search something good and always a little more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's in you, first, I think at the root. I think a lot of times when we talk about insecurity, it's like, oh, this person made me feel this way, or this person did that. And it's like, well, yes, you have a right to feel that way. There maybe is, for sure, that's valid. But how do you react to it? Why does it bother you so much? Why do you let it get to you so much? Maybe there's something there to look at and really examine, like take your time with it. It gets very deep.
It's very deep. Sometimes I found myself as a kid that I remember to feel like, oh, but at the same time today I turn around and say, thank you. You know what? Thank you. I need that in that time.
Mm.
I need it. Because so many things, it makes a big difference. Again, you can say in a nice way the stuff, but sometimes you need this little to push you.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if it happens to you, any situation that you say, oh my goodness, this is a headache, but eventually you say, I appreciate this headache.
Like in a situation where someone is the headache. Because both. And they're always, they make me grow, they make me question, you know, whether I agree or not, but usually there's truth to it for sure. and I go, okay, I didn't see it this way. Why? If they think this way, maybe there's something examined, maybe not. It just depends on the thing, right? Uh, Tell me a little bit about some mistakes like you've even made on the in your journey, with this topic. Were you ever insecure and it caused chaos
I
or
did,
issues?
yes, but somehow I'm like the cats. I always fall in the forest. Because this is the thing, like, I appreciate my roots that they are Italian, Spanish, Argentina. So we have these things of adaptability.
Mm, very important in this business.
It is, and it's super important because sometimes, I mean, I have a great relation on my contracts. I have been working in places for years, and one of the things is like to learn and understand what certain places need. So,
Hmm.
if, so if I have to tell you things again, to welcome those critiques, because in the end they know what type of audience they need,
Hmm.
know what they are looking for. So if they hire you, you have to have this, not this proud to say, oh no, you have to have this flexibility. So in the beginning, of course, you are sensitive because sometimes people can be very strong in the way they are telling you, but
Hmm.
you learn. What I can tell you is a very nice experience that I have, and was one of the things like feel with that I get my, and I will explain you why. When I have this contest that I was part in Dubai, I start to notice that between all the contests, it's normal, it's a competition. But I say, you know what? I want this experience to be different because I came from these death threats. I came for those situations. So I say, you know what? I will enjoy it. I'm not consider myself like I will be something like that. But the reason why I want to be part of that, because I thought, why not? This can be an adventure because,
Hmm.
you know, had many classes, many things. So the short story is like, I received, we had a great relation with everybody. I changed perspective. I tried to approach to each person who was inside this place. We become friends with them. And in the end, the funny thing is like all of them, they choose me like best friend.
Aw.
It was very touching. So deep on me, it was like, you learn that you can, from a situation that can be toxic, and I'm not saying it was toxic, but for a maybe situation where you have different people that they have this competition, you can create and you can contribute to create a good atmosphere somehow, and you can change for the better. That's what. So for me to have this friend was I won the contest. I didn't expect the contest, and the risk I was bringing the luggage because that night I have to show, and I had to
Okay.
tell them to cancel them.
Ah.
And the same night because he told me, no, you cannot leave now. You have to stay, and you have. I supposed to spend the night in one hotel, which was part of the price, and
Oh, okay.
but you had to stay. I was like, no, but it was fantastic. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is sometimes we are not conscious how we can impact in a very positive way.
Hmm. For
So
sure.
yeah, so that was um, the other things that I like to share and see is, and this is very sad, but at the same time, I want to encourage to follow this. Um, I used to have one of my students, one of them, I used to have a wonderful leader
Say
that,
that again. It's cutting off a little bit.
yeah, I used to have one of my, I had many students, but one of the stories is I used to have one of my students, 9 years old, okay,
Baby.
has a very specific health condition, okay?
Okay.
So basically what happened is every 6 months she has to have surgery.
Mm.
And she comes to the class with the oxygen bag,
Wow.
being 9 years old, and she has to visit every 6 months. And the mother and the family, they were so happy because he say her name was Jimena, and she said, Jimenita only eats when she's happy, and she's happy to come in.
Aww.
So every 6 months she has the surgery, and she was in a list of transplant.
Okay.
Okay, until one time she left the classes again, and we assumed she has a surgery, and unfortunately she passed away.
Oh, wow. Oh my God.
I know. So, and I want to share her story just because, for me, the day that I knew that, I was crying, and I'm still feeling that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I would like to share this opportunity to call to the Bellydance community and think, listen, we had a 9 years old. She's breathing her oxygen. She's enjoying the simple things. She's not concerned about her scar, how she dances. She loves what she's doing. She loves herself. She's
Oh.
so tiny, so brave. And I promise myself to learn and improve because how many humanity
Mm.
we have. Doesn't matter the age. But it's like you fail them. You
Wow.
so that was my message. Like, please, let's do things better. And if a tiny little girl, 9 years old, that you should love yourself. She doesn't feel any insecurity. She was brave.
Mm-hmm.
That I have to say thank you because honestly, she inspired me a lot.
Yeah. Totally puts things into perspective, when you hear things like that, big time. And it's such a good message. I feel like the love, the peace. Yes, there's going to be frustrating times. Yes, we're going to get mad. But maybe sometimes it's like just ask if it's external, are they going through something? Maybe ask them. Usually there is something going on. It doesn't, you just don't wake up like, like
True.
toxic. And if it's you, which often the case, the root is our own selves, right? How we handle it, how the communication came in and how we interpret the communication based on our perspective and our stuff, do the work, like it will help. It's not an easy thing, but it really is the root of it all at the end of the day, just more empathy with each other, ourselves, patience with ourselves, be kind to ourselves. And when we need to kick our own butts, we kick our own butts. And that's what you got to do sometimes. No one's going to kick it for you. And
True.
that's normal.
True.
mm. Such a good. Oh, eso me tiene.
No, I know. I understand it's very emotional, but in the same,
Yeah.
that's the type of situation that you're thinking, what we are doing in the community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some interesting trends that have began in COVID like really big, and they're still kind of going. But you also see a lot of beauty when we're together, when we're interacting, the real world, it can feel so different. So, what would be your solution, let's say? What's something, a trick or a tip or a trick that has worked for you when you felt insecure or you've had to deal with someone's insecurities that are really going through it? What would you recommend?
To remember that you are a unique masterpiece. I
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm very grateful for the good, for the bad, for the good things that happens, for the bad things that happens, for the things that never happens, and the things that are gonna happen. Because somehow I appreciate my skin become so thick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there is a point that you don't lose yourself on this journey, but in the same time, you should learn that some people can handle their own insecurity in a healthy way. Some people no, it's nothing to do with you. In the beginning, as a kid, if you had to talk to me, I will say, Andrea, you're asking too much what you did to these people, and you didn't do anything wrong. It's just like sometimes people is like that with you and many.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you understand each person, you are not responsible for other people's reaction. That's a relief
Mm-hmm.
first. I think
Mm-hmm.
But speaking about the healthy thing, I will say just love yourself. I mean, there's such a beauty when you teach, such a beauty when you go to every show and you entertain people, when you organize stuff, the love that we put when we organize stuff, even the most detail. Um, if we understand all are connected for the same passion and the same love, and all are special, that's gonna be a big click there.
Yeah. It really changes the perspective of everything where it's not I'm alone, it's me, it's just this. It's like it's more than just the one. It's so
Yeah, and
many things.
eventually it's gonna pass. And we're gonna
Hmm.
have answer. So we should keep in the wheel the most clean and healthy possible. Let's all we can at least.
Yeah. I would say as a solution to no boundaries was probably one of my biggest mistakes and then one of my biggest lessons because what's the boundary within me? What's the boundaries with others? That I feel goes a lot with insecurity sometimes and dealing with everything in this industry. Any other things that have worked or solutions for you? And
To remember the impact that we have in other people. I
mm,
had one of my instructor, which is amazing, and I had no problem to tell the story. Um, when I meet Virginia, that she's a very known dancer from America, the one who lives in Miami, Virginia.
Miami, Virginia? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally fall in love in the sense like I say, wow, she's the type of instructor, and as a human being, she has the values, the same values that they are teaching me at home.
Mm,
When I was really young, she told me, listen, you're going to be a good dancer one day. I do believe one day you're going to be a good dancer. You have to keep working hard. Probably she doesn't remember this. And she told me, remember always, you are going in your life to touch any other people's life. So it's your responsibility to be a blessing or a lesson. She told me that,
oh.
and I remember I was like, wow, you know. So those things I think I have writing here, honestly. Because she told me that in that moment, but when the years pass, I still remember that, and I see things like how you can help a person that maybe have I give an example, a very specific situation at home that maybe that person is not treated in the way they supposed to.
Hmm.
Okay, and you can notice because maybe that situation makes that person has a posture like this.
The body language says a
Oh,
lot. Yeah.
so many situations that you're like, that's not fair. But eventually, when they start to learn dance and they start to remember who they are, that posture come back again. You
Hmm.
notice that they start to remember how to love themselves. So I would say one of the biggest lessons, please remember we are always touching other people's lives.
That is so beautiful. I'll have to tag Virginia in this.
I, yeah, I love her. She danced in my wedding.
Aww.
She it's a friendship of years. Um, and I know there are many good instructors around, but not everybody has the time to tell you those things. You know, we should
Hmm.
speak
It's
more.
like what I call like the mama papa advice that you get from the dancers and the musicians along the way that like care for you. They'll tell you the hard things you need to hear and these beautiful like deep things that we carry forever. Kind of like cut deep.
True. I always, from there, every time I organize an event and I do something, I always say thank you to my mentors. I had instructors, but you know, those who teach you is still always here.
Hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Thank
It's
you.
oh, it's time to close it out. I can't believe it goes so fast. I know.
I love it, and I love it. Thank you for the opportunities.
No, my pleasure.
For
It
talk,
was
honest.
totally my pleasure. So thank you for coming on and for sharing all of this for anyone that is listening, whether tonight or after this. If you want to reach Shaira, it's Shaira Amon. You can find her on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere. Just her name is unique, so it makes it easy to find you, which is lovely. Sometimes it's tough, you know. If you have any questions at all, I didn't see any come through. Don't be shy. I'll stay on for like another minute here for sure, to just in case.
Sending this to Tina. I can see her there.
Tina! Hi, honey. Hi, Aziza. You know, this is, I'm still like, whoa, over some of the stories you share that are like, they're like the extreme examples. Oh my gosh.
I
And I
try.
just go, wow, que mujer.
I mean, it happens to me sometimes to listen other people's stories, and I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, it's like, do you have any mentor that you remember in your heart, something special they tell you? I
Yes.
will share that.
Oh, yeah. One of my mentors, when I was struggling with wanting to teach, like 10 years ago, to be in the workshop circuit, I had won a bunch of competitions and I was getting asked to teach everywhere, but I wasn't like a workshop teacher. I was like a private lesson teacher.
Oh, wow.
And so I wasn't really ready, honestly. Like looking back, it didn't go well, you know. I was very young. I didn't know what I was doing. Um, and I was like, man, okay, I know I have to grow. Like, obviously, yes, but you know, I know I have things to offer. Like, it seems like in my community, in my space, it's like you're not that important, but look at all these other places that they kind of value what I'm doing. Like, and one of her advice was, because it would really make me insecure. She said, "You're never a prophet in your own homeland."
Wow.
I remember this all the freaking time, all the time. It was like one of those things where I was like, okay, this is really helpful. But when she says something, it's like she really means it too. And I was like, oh wow, that's a good one. Like that's just one of the many, you know, things that still today like really are deep in there, like in my DNA when I'm feeling a certain way.
You're not gonna believe that, but for example, when I have the first time that I teach a workshop and they hire me in Cordoba, which is another city in Argentina,
Mm-hmm.
they did later, like in a newspaper, they did like interview,
Okay.
and sometimes the journalists they choose the topic of the. Sometimes they do. Can you believe they put exactly the same phrase without be a prophet in their head on?
Oh,
So I was when you mentioned that I was like, man, wow.
the threads
Wait.
connect. Oh, Tina has a question. She said, "Can
Yeah.
you repeat the Virginia quote?"
Yes, definitely. She told me two things. The first one, keep working hard when they're gonna be a good dancer, a really good dancer. That was encouragement. But the second one, and this is the important phrase, like we spend our life touching everybody, other people's life. So you can be a blessing or a lesson.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's very. I don't think she remembered that, but she say it.
that's
Oh
a
my
good one. I
God.
know. I'm gonna remember that one for a long time. It's very true.
Very true, but I mean, how you remember that phrase? So how it's interesting. How can be something that we say? Uh, maybe she meant it, but she never thought maybe a person can carry that all her life.
Mm.
Sometimes we are not conscious that we can have such impact
Mm-hmm.
that we can carry that and can be our motivation actually.
Yeah, it's very helpful for sure. Well, my dear, I had the blast talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And everyone, by all means, I'm going to be posting this here very soon on all the streaming platforms, YouTube, all things. But definitely follow Shaira along her journey. She's always has so much to give and is a great resource and just like a good person all around. I'm like really enjoying getting to know you. And so I look very much forward to getting to know you even more along the journey.
Thank you. Same here. Hopefully one day we can do something together, dancing like
Ojalá.
really funny.
Sí, I'm down.
Yeah.
And then, oh, some call outs. She organizes the Sunshine Belly Dance Festival. She's what, like, it's several people, I feel like, but she's one that's definitely big behind this festival that's going on. And if there's any other projects, by all means, go to her page, follow her. There's so much more. All right, everyone, have a great night.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, everybody. And keep dancing and inspire, please.
Yes. Bye, everyone.